I'm a witcher.
This is Gameralter, and we are back with another video of Gerald of Rivia showcasing his past and from where all it began. So let's get right into it.
Witcher. Well, everyone knows The Witcher. After all, it is one of the best masterpieces that CD Projekt Red has ever created. It was based on the fantasy novel series The Witcher by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The Witcher series became a titan of the gaming industry ever since The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt won the Game of the Year 2015. The game had won numerous awards as the game received pre-release awards at E3, as it was voted the best role-playing game at the IGN Best of E3 Awards in 2013 and 2014. It also won IGN's E3 People's Choice Award. CD Projekt Red confirms that the series has sold 50 million copies. Well, let's talk about the legend, Geralt of Rivia, also known as the White Wolf, or Butcher of Blafkin. You may be wondering, why did Geralt of Rivia called White Wolf, or Butcher of Blafkin? Well, Geralt was trained in Kaer Morhen, which was known as the School of the Wolf, as Geralt had pale skin, striking yellow eyes and white hair. That is why he is the only Witcher in existence to have white hair, which gave him the name the White Wolf. In a city of Blafkin, a mage named Stregober informs Geralt to kill a young woman named Renfrey, whom Stregober believes is under the curse of the Black Sun, and who is also trying to kill him. After a series of events, Geralt discovers that she will make several people from the city hostage to make Geralt kill the sorcerer for her. Our hero then chooses the lesser evil, that is to kill her and all her gang, as he killed a lot of people in Blafkin. Therefore he got the title Butcher of Blafkin. Geralt is a legendary witcher, son of the sorceress Visenna and his father Korin, a Nordling warrior. In his early days, his Geralt was taken by his mother to the wolf school Kaer Morhen, where he survived numerous mutations during the trial of the grasses, an excruciatingly painful ritual performed on witchers at a young age that uses mutagens collected from monsters to enhance their bodies beyond human capabilities. Only 3 in 10 survive the trial, and the rest die in agony. The survivors gain lightning-quick reflexes, their signature cat-like eyes, and other extreme physical enhancements. Geralt was trained by his mentor Vesemir, whom he came to regard as a father figure. Vesemir is the oldest and most experienced witcher, possibly older than Kaer Morhen itself. During his training at the Witcher School, he made friends with several students, such as Gweld, Eskel, Lambert, and many others. As Geralt's training was finished, he embarked into the world on his horse called the Roach to become a monster slayer for hire. And who can forget the famous lines said by the legend himself? Evil is evil, lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference. The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all. Well, Geralt's life wasn't been so easy. Whether it's taking care of Ciri and loving her as his own daughter, performing the trial of the grasses, incident in Blafkin, killing of the griffin, defeating a Redden, or maybe worse when Geralt was ditched by Trish and Yennefer. You name it, and Geralt has gone through everything. Well, that didn't end up well for Geralt. Actually, love is quite messed up for Geralt, but instances show that Yennefer of Vengerberg had true feelings for the White Wolf. There has always been a long-standing debate among fans of the books whether Geralt truly loved Yennefer, or vice versa, since what seems to have bound them was a djinn's magic. The Witcher 3 settled this argument once and for all with a lovely side quest involving another djinn and Yennefer wishing away the magical bind of the first djinn. Even so, Yennefer still apparently loved Geralt afterward and even stated that nothing's changed for her. That very well means it wasn't djinn's magic that made them stay with each other. Yennefer always had a rocky relationship with the Lodge of Sorceresses. Well, truth be told, she has a rocky relationship with anyone, including Geralt. Still, she benefits well from the Lodge and knows well enough not to earn its ire. Despite knowing that, she still sacrificed her reputation and pleaded with Philippa Eilhart, the Lodge's leader, to help save Geralt in the books. Yennefer was already an outcast of the Lodge during that time, but she still boldly went up to them just to save Geralt. One of the greatest moments showcasing Geralt's true love is when Yennefer sacrificed her life to save Geralt. When Geralt actually died saving his friends and Yennefer from a Rivian pogrom, and it was there that Yennefer proved just how much the Witcher mattered to her. She did her best to heal him and bring him back, even paying her own life soon after. This was the tragic ending at the Lady of the Lake book of the Witcher saga, something which the games continue. For hardcore book fans, that pretty much concludes the extent of Yennefer's affection for Geralt and how true it is where she'd give her own life to save him. But talking about Triss Merigold of Maribor, she also had an undying affection for Gerald of Rivia. In the third game, they start off rather rough as ex-lovers, but it soon became apparent that Triss hasn't moved on. Triss, being a really jealous and obsessed sorceress, can be quite a harmful thing for her friends, particularly for Geralt. In the books, she even tried to seduce Geralt through magic. She pretty much goes behind Yennefer's back to steal Geralt, and even Yennefer knew this at one point and harshly confronted her about it. Meanwhile, in the games, Triss was morally corrupt and can only be summed up as a snake in the grass for Yennefer. The first chance she gets at stealing Geralt without any opposition, she takes it right away. Basically, Triss lies to Geralt so she can have him all for herself. It's a lot more complicated than that, of course, since Triss also loved Geralt apparently. Now that you're aware of Triss' most heinous betrayals and misdeeds, let's top it off with one last bad quality she possesses. Triss also happens to have a sociopathic and selfish side, especially when intense emotions are involved. This happened near the end of the book saga where a peasant mob was slaughtering all non-humans in their path. Triss grew scared of the commotion and wanted to flee right away despite having friends in the fray including Geralt. She would have left and preserved only herself if not for Yennefer, who urged her to stay so they could help their friends and the innocents. This did show that when push comes to shove, Yennefer might actually be the more reliable one. Well, honestly, I was with Yennefer from the start of Witcher 3 as I chose my decision wisely, knowing the odds. That's the beauty of RPG games. The game will give you moments where you have to decide whether you want to continue your quest or romance with Yennefer of Vengerberg or Triss Merigold. Choose wisely, guys, or you will end up with this. Well, leave a comment. Who did you choose to go with, Yen or Triss? Now, talking about Geralt's powers and skills. Years of training in Kaer Morhen have turned Geralt into a killing machine and a danger both to humans and monsters. Geralt's weapons of choice are two swords, one for humans and another for monsters. As a Witcher, Geralt's senses are much more enhanced compared to normal humans, making it much easier for him to track down and hunt prey. However, he does wear a medallion that quivers whenever there are magical creatures around. Being a Witcher means that Geralt needs to always be one step ahead of his enemies when it comes to monsters. Fortunately, thanks to years of reading about various monsters and their weaknesses, Geralt has amassed knowledge which allows him to craft the proper bombs, create the proper oils, and cast the proper spells in order to always have the upper hand in a fight. The metabolism of Witchers is much higher compared to that of a normal human being, allowing them to ingest potions that would otherwise be lethal to common folk. The metabolism of Witchers is much higher compared to that of a normal human being, allowing them to ingest potions that would otherwise be lethal to common folk. Geralt also has a range of effective, albeit limited, spells and signs that he can use to subdue enemies. Ignite allows Geralt to light enemies on fire. Quen casts a protective but breakable shield around Geralt. Axii allows Geralt to charm opponents and manipulate them into becoming docile or divulge information. Eden allows Geralt to create a magical trap which can incapacitate monsters. And Art allows Geralt to telekinetically blast enemies, stunning them or knocking them back. Geralt pursues the mysterious Salamandra, and in the process meets many people from his past, as well as new acquaintances who either require the Witcher's help or offer their own in his quest to regain his identity. Well, it's been 7 years since The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was released, and still the graphics look super crisp and fresh. Despite the fact that this game was delivered a while back, I'd say the graphics effectively hold up to the present norm. The mechanics for the game are next level too. The Witcher 3 is a work of art as it looks gorgeous and only adds to the immersion, bringing the various creatures in the lore to life, and making the story's side characters incredibly unique with their incredible character designs. The soundtrack is a pretty traditional fantasy-style soundtrack. The different area and combat themes make the game immersive and help players feel the differences between the geographical regions in the game, whether they're trudging through the swamps of Velen or fighting drowners in the sewers of Novigrad. The battling is unquestionably smart and responsive as Geralt spins and cuts at his different adversaries. Besides, the player is given admittance to 5 upgradable spells, called Signs, which Geralt can project at the expense of endurance to harm, delay, or befuddle adversaries. Players can likewise have Geralt create reusable Witcher portion, which can concede different buffs in battle. 2 is bombs, which can harm, blind, or hinder beasts' powers. Finally, Geralt also has a crossbow, although its main use is as a support weapon for grounding flying enemies to bring them in close proximity of Geralt's sword. The combat is immersive, snappy, and most of all fun, although players will have to adjust the game difficulty depending on their skill level and how comfortable they are dying to various creatures. While the Witcher video game series, by and large, an incredible game, its immersive atmosphere, created by its unique cast of characters, monsters, and regions, makes players explore the world of the game and rigorously hunt down every monster in sight. Meanwhile, leveling up Geralt and crafting better equipment and potions to fight the monsters he can't kill yet. The story, while a bit slow at times and unfamiliar to new players, is rewarding and exciting to play for returning players. This is brought about by the huge world and numerous side quests. The game does have its fair share of issues and improvements that could be implemented, but none of them severely impact players' experience after a few hours of gameplay. I highly recommend the Witcher video game series for those that love fantasy games, well inspired by the games and novels. Netflix has already released the Witcher series and people are loving the work of Henry Cavill. Cavill has replaced the iconic Man of Steel cape with some sleek white locks and a shiny sharp sword in Netflix's new fantasy series. Now that The Witcher Season 2 has already arrived, an exciting announcement been made that the Season 3 is officially on its way. Well, I can't wait to watch Wild Hunt in Season 3 as I keep my expectation high for it. Leave a comment down below on what you think about the Season 2. For more of this gaming content, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.